So I will call the Municipal Building Commission meeting of November 6, 2024 to order. And for the record, we have Terry DeSisto, Ed Stanton, Jackie Romanicki, Jay Allard, Gail Clark, and myself. So we have a quorum. First order of business is to approve the minutes of the special meeting of September 11th and the regular meeting of October 2nd. They were emailed to you. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Next, for the library carpet project, Mason, who's on military leave, but he emailed me anyway today, saying that the contract was with the mayor to sign, so we should be having a kickoff meeting on that relatively soon. And that gets us to the water department, and I see the water superintendent. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. I guess I'll start with an update on the Pawtucket emergency Pawtucket water interconnection. The work is moving along. There's electrical to the site. The electrical drop was done and the meter is in. So the general contractor is working on cameras. The SCADA sub has started working, and we're basically waiting on startup testing procedures. Basically through the general contractor and for our review, Pawtucket's review and CDM's review. We hope to be online in the coming few weeks to early December. I mean, everybody here knows our current water situation, so the sooner the better. We've done our best internally to expedite all inspections with the electrical, with the contractors. DEP is on the ready when we're ready for them to inspect. They said with a phone call they can come the next day. Once startup testing is done, if the SCADA communications is not set up to either or both systems, DEP, because of the water situation, has allowed to let us operate the station as long as we man it when it's operational. So that's good news. It's a cost of overtime, but it would get us the water quicker. So that's basically where Pawtucket stands right now. We do have a pay app if it made it down here. I know I had one that ran a little bit later.
No, I don't see it on the agenda.
There is not, okay. So it may not have made it. It came in, I believe,
Let me
this
just
morning.
check and see if she updated no, she didn't update the agenda. So I guess it's not here.
Okay, so for next meeting, I'll discuss the pay app for Pawtucket then.
Okay. Who owns the water meter, us or Pawtucket?
We own it. We're responsible for maintaining, and a lot of the IMA, the updated IMA got voted through council last night. We had an existing one from years ago that we could have operated off, but this starts brand new and clean. A lot of the maintenance of the meter and the building itself falls on Attleboro. The reason for this is 9 times out of 10 or more, we're going to be the purchasing party.
And how does the meter get read?
It'll be read monthly. We can read it internally. Pawtucket obviously is going to have access to the station. It's connected to their system. It's exactly what I would want, so they can come in and make sure everything's operational.
Do they
and read the
physically
meter.
read it, or do they drive by and have a computer?
I believe it's a manual read.
Okay. Good. Anything else on that project? Any
Nothing
questions
on
from the members? All right, moving right along.
Okay, the temporary
Wading
plant.
River,
oh,
temporary.
Sorry, temporary plant at Wading River. The temporary plant at Wading River, we're basically at a stall. The last time we met, we were waiting on delivery of PFAS vessels, and it was uncertain to January. We've gotten some good news. We're expecting delivery of the PFAS vessels right around Christmas, probably the week before. So any of the startup testing should take place in January with a very early estimated February start to have PFAS treatment there. In the meantime, the plant is operational without the treatment in place due to the water situation.
that's why the water was brown at my house this morning?
It depends where you live. We had some hydrant flow testing out in the system this week, so it could be that. There were 3 different areas with flow testing this morning.
Okay. And then I understand you correctly that this will reduce the volume that we can pump out of that station, correct?
It will. The plant itself, without the PFAS treatment in place, is rated for 2 million gallons a day. Because of it being a temporary treatment, temporary fix, it is only set up to treat 1 million gallons per day. Hopefully by the time February comes around, we'll have caught up and the drought will become a distant memory or a not so distant memory, but it will cut the production from the plant in half.
And then when are we projecting the permanent to be finished?
The permanent, did you want me to move on to the permanent?
Well, let's say, are there any questions on temporary? Okay, then why don't you go?
Okay. Permanent plant, the design plans and specs were submitted to DEP in order to meet the SRF deadline in October. We were actually a few days early. We expect DEP's comments and any required changes by the end of the year, and we hope to bid in January with an award in late April or early May. With the awards and approval of submittals, construction looks like it would be tentative to start in August to September of '25 with a 2-year construction timetable. So the final plant should be up and running in the fall of '27. So we're still on schedule for that one.
All our permits from Mansfield in place?
Yeah, just about everything is in place. The final piece is DEP.
Good. Good. So even though we have some issues now, within a couple of years, things will be substantially better?
Things are looking up. Things are definitely looking up. The other thing I wanted to mention about the permanent plant, and I'll kind of fill in for Mason a little bit because he's unavailable, doing his government duty. We are working on finalizing the scope for the OPM, so there will be an OPM in place when the bids start coming in.
So when are we putting that out on the street?
Early to mid-January.
Okay, and then with people responding in February and then us shortlisting and interviewing?
For OPM?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, OPM will be very, very soon. I thought you were talking about the general bids.
No, I'm talking about hiring the OPM.
Yeah, they'll be on, I believe, we should have be ready for interviews in January, I believe.
So who's drawing the RFP
Mason is.
in his spare time?
Yeah, it was almost complete. He and I kind of crossed paths on our way out the door last week. So.
I mean, is Carol Brown pinch hitting, or don't you know?
Carol and Brooke are both filling in, and Mason has been reachable.
Okay, because I'm just thinking that if we are going to receive bids to the RFP, shortlist, and interview, then we're going to need to set up maybe some meetings, maybe some additional meetings, and of course the holidays are coming up, so we got to be careful. So
Yes.
when, if you could, when you know the schedule, or if Brooke is watching this tomorrow, if you could communicate with me what the schedule is so I can let the commission know what we might be looking at, I
Yes.
think that would be helpful.
Nice.
Anything else?
For the permanent plant, no.
Any questions? No. Okay, then thank you for coming in. It looks like our next meeting is December 4th. And I guess we will see you either in person or virtually on that day.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Anjanette virtually in the audience?
No sign?
Jim, have you heard from her?
No.
You have not. Okay. Because I don't have any information from Mason to answer or share with you the questions here. So why don't we do this while we're waiting for the moment anyway? We've got some invoices. We have a invoice from Port for the library for the consulting for $1,200. We have a requisition number 5 from Bishko Building Systems for the Wading River temporary PFAS through September 30th for $97,774. We have a bill from Skanska for services through September 15th of $10,470 relating to the Willett window wall. And J.J. Cardosi has application number 3 for Willett. Looks like it's dated 10/28 and it's for $103,063.12. Oh, there's Anjanette, perfect. Anjanette, we were just asking about the bills. Is the J.J. Cardosi application number 3 appropriate for payment?
It is appropriate for payment, and I apologize. I had some trouble logging in. I had to update my software. So, perfect timing. So, it is appropriate for payment. They are spending for all of the work that's been completed over the last month. And with this application, there's just a couple of items that are remain. I'll show you. I'll give you guys an update. I have a little presentation put together, and so their balance to finish would be $24,364.74 after this application has been approved.
So they're almost finished.
They sure are.
Okay. Well, before we vote on those bills, why don't you give us your update? And there's a change order?
Yes. So I guess I'll start with, let me share my screen. There we go. Just confirm when you guys can see it.
We got it.
Okay. So we talked at the last meeting about the need for an expansion joint. The one that was there previously was nothing that could be reused. And so I think the conversation was during the last meeting that we would provide pricing from Cardosi. And so we did that, and they submitted a price, we reviewed it, and it was for $5,188.24, and that includes labor and materials. They submitted the change order with all the product data, everything. We reviewed it, I reviewed it with Bob. From my team, Andy Barr reviewed it. Everything was, accurate. The pricing was right on track with what we expected. And then just to show you, I had the subcontractor, J.J. Cardosi, just mark up where the expansion joint is going to go. So it goes on the north elevation. If you're looking at it, it would be on the left side, and it also it doesn't wrap over the top, but on the other side, on the opposite, it would be on your right side if you're looking at the rear elevation. So these are the two locations there. So that was submitted for approval, and we had them order the material immediately. So that's been ordered, and we weren't sure about the lead time. We were hoping to get it, sooner rather than later. I got an update today, so if you don't mind, I'll just roll into this, and then if we have any questions about the change order itself, I can answer them after I show you guys what's been done. So if there's if nobody's opposed to me just going, I'm gonna just keep moving.
Keep going.
Okay, thanks. All right, so just, this is just, again, just the scope of the work that we have done here. This is the same slide I showed before. So since our last meeting, the subcontractor had completed the installation of both the north and the south elevation finish wall system, which included the brake metal, the frames, the glass, and the door install. The door was installed. We had an opportunity to receive the door a little bit earlier than anticipated, so they were able to install that along with the wall systems. They completed all of the finishing, all the caulking, all of that kind of stuff. And then today they actually finished the interior paint. It was just trim around the interior window system. What remains is just the expansion joint installation. That was a change order too that I just went through with you. The material was ordered. It's shipping on the 14th, and they anticipate it arriving and doing the installation on the 18th of November. They did have to pull the lift because they were no longer using it, and they didn't want to keep, the rental going. So there may be, the only other additional cost that may be related to this is just for the cost of 1 day for the lift, if they can't do it from the ladder. And of course, we want them to be safe. So it's estimated it may be maximum another $1,900 just for the 1 day rental. And then as soon as I get more information related to that, I'll reach out and share that with you guys. So this is just what they've done here. They've replaced everything. Everything is brand new. The doors over here are brand new as well. And there was a door contactor that's tied into the building maintenance system. That's all been, reworked. It's all operational. Everything looks great. The lettering here was taken down carefully and then reinstalled. They did a great job. And then on the south elevation, which is, I take the back of the building, if you will, this just shows you that they had to work around this heating unit here. And so this just shows you the completed product. And then, let's see, yesterday and today, they were working inside. And so all of this trim here had to be replaced. And so they had painters up on scaffolding. Worked out great just with the teacher service day yesterday. They were able to have full access to the area. So we had Jerry down there today. He's one of our field reps. And so he supervised the work and took some pictures, and it was all wrapped up today. So the expectation is when that expansion joint arrives, it'll be a 1 day installation, and then everything will be wrapped up. Does anybody have any questions?
So we need to take a vote to approve change order number 2 and also a vote to pay all the bills. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, and so with your numbers there, what percentage are we complete now?
We are 87% complete with the installation of the window wall based on their contract there. We still have, we're 72% complete with our contract. We still have, that was just through the 15th of September, and then we had full-time coverage while they were there. So I anticipate our final bill will be at the December meeting. And then there's still money. I think the original budget proposed for the entire project was 1.5 million. And out of that, right now we're invoiced to 1.2 million. So we've got about another, just about 13% left to bill for Cardosi. And we are hoping to get everything, wrapped up for the December meeting.
So will we be voting on substantial completion then at the December meeting?
I'm hoping to. I spoke with Andy Barr. The architect actually has to go out there to, just to do a final walkthrough and final acceptance of everything. So we're just trying to schedule that. We want to wait until we get the expansion train in. I'll meet him out there. And then I'm hoping we can do something similar to what we did when we did the roofing project, where we did, we did a final pay application, and then we did a second application for the retainages and whatnot, just so we don't have to drag it out for another month into January.
Yeah, I mean, if they're completely done and we're satisfied, then I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
Okay, so a motion is in order to approve change order number 2 in the amount of 5188.24.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. As long as we're at it, I went through the 4 bills earlier. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Jeanette, as long as we have you, Mason and I talked about a tentative school building committee meeting next Wednesday, Where are we on that?
The plan is to move forward with having the group meet. We're going to have an invoice. Right now I have one for KBA. I'm anticipating one for ScanScan. I did receive one yesterday from Consigli, and that is for the remainder of the work at the freight farm. And the work that Griffin did on the, I think it's the charging units, they had to reinstall them. And then there's one more item. I think it was some GCs related to some signage changes. So I know we do have that. And then as far as I know, that's the plan. I have it in my calendar to meet next Wednesday and then give, I guess, just sort of another final project update. If that's still something that, you guys are interested in putting together, because we'll have to have another one probably in January. I'm anticipating final invoices from Consigli in December, and that would be final credits and everything from them.
Okay, so would you work with Brooke or Mason tomorrow to make sure that notices go out so that we get a quorum for that meeting? So if she can put together an agenda, or with your help,
Yep.
and that way we'll give everybody a week's notice that we will be having that special meeting. And also make sure somebody reserves the Zito room.
Absolutely. I can, I've done the agendas with Brooke before, so I'll make sure that I work with her and get the, get the items put together. I'll check in with the Consigli, see if they have anything that they want to discuss, and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Okay, good. So I think that we've probably done all of our business for this evening.
Yeah.
A good, quick meeting. And so, thank you, Anjanette. And we will see everybody next Wednesday, and then on 12/4.
Yeah.
And there's a motion to adjourn would be in order at 5:52.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
The scans, then the colors of it.
Oh.